Guys, welcome. If you're watching me right now, my mission is very simple. My mission is to help you run your life like a high-performing business. I honestly don't care if you follow me or not. I don't care if you like the video or not. But what I care about is the fact that you get value out of what I'm about to show you. I want you to get the most value out of it. So I would like you to be very attentive. Please follow me whilst I take you through this model, because this might be the most important thing that will change your life and your experience in 2026 and beyond. Let me ask you this question. Have you thought about why some businesses can stay in the game for quite a long time, whilst others come in and then in a very short time, they just die off? If you actually go deeper, you would realize that the main reason why some businesses are able to thrive and then stay consistent is the fact that they have proper structures. They have departments that work together to make sure that the products or the services being provided by the company is exceptional. They put in a lot of work to hire the right people. And on the flip side, the businesses that don't thrive, if you take a very analytical look at them, you would realize that they are running based on feelings. They didn't form the right department to actually make sure that things move the way it needs to move. Or maybe they didn't keep up with the pace or with the way the world is going, so they were being bought out of business. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is that you are a business, and everything you do in your life is actually managing this business. And so it is important to know what to do and what not to do if you want to be successful. Every successful person run themselves like a business, and that is why they thrive. And so if you are trying to be successful in life, you need to learn to run your life like a business. And I'm going to show you how. Every human business is made up of 6 different departments. And the first department is your brand department, right? Your brand department. Now, this is who you are. This is the perception that people have of you when your name is being mentioned in a specific room. Now, when this department is weak, you would realize that opportunities pass you by. When somebody mentions your name, they cannot attribute it to something, because like you stand for nothing. Your brand is actually your strengths, your weaknesses, the things that your friends can say that you are good at, right? That is what makes up your brand department. Now, when your brand department is strong, the moment somebody mentions your name, everybody can attribute it to something. They can just say, oh, this is the guy that helps businesses thrive. This is the guy that helps starters gain confidence. People attribute your name to value. Opportunities begin to find you because your brand is strong. And this is the foundational department you need to start working on. What is your brand? If I think of you, what would come in my mind? What makes you who you are? Now, the next department is what I call the finance department. Usually when people hear finance, the only thing that comes in mind is money, budgeting, and all of that. But this finance is your time and your energy and what it goes into. How do you use your time? What do you give your energy to? This is what makes up your finance department. You know what? Everybody has 24 hours in a day. No one has 19 or 18. We all have 24 hours in a day. Now, the most important thing is how you allocate these 24 hours. For successful people, they make sure that they are using this time wisely, and that is why they stay successful. They will use this time, right? They will use their 24 hours, find a good balance to life and everything, and then they will create something amazing. And you will use part of your 24 hours to go and watch what they've created. That is the difference. You use your energy to watch them, but you don't learn from it. They use their energy and time to create something meaningful. And so if you can also start using your time and your energy well, you will see that your whole life begins to change. When your finance department is weak, you realize that you start things you don't finish. You are always busy. In the whole day, you are busy. But then at the end of the day, there is not even a single thing that actually makes up for the time that you've spent. But when your finance department is strong, you find time to learn. You find time to build that dream. You find time to actually grow yourself to become the person you've always wanted to be. Now, the next department is what I call the operations department. This is the core and the heartbeat of you. This is what is going to make you successful or not. How you use your day, what kind of actions you are taking. For some of us, we can say that we want to start a YouTube channel. We have an idea of starting a business, and then we will use the entire time researching on the type of gadgets that we want to use, the cameras, the microphones, and all of that. And in 6 months, we are still researching without not putting out one single video. without not actually starting the business. If your operations department is weak, that is what you do. You think of the things, you plan, and you don't do anything. You don't execute. But when this department is strong, the moment the idea hits in your mind, you automatically start acting on, because you understand that through action is how you grow. Through action, you gain experiences. Through action, you become perfect. And so it is important that you put a lot of energy in actually being consistent in improving yourself in your operations, in how you go about your day. Look, let me tell you something very profound. Overthinking would forever keep you stagnant and poor. If you get an idea and then you decide to overthink it, that idea is going to jump onto somebody that would implement it. And then that's why you sometimes feel like, oh, I had this idea, but then somebody, or it's being implemented by somebody. Because when the idea found you, the only thing you did was to overthink it. Make your operations department strong by actually actioning the things that you think of. If it works out, perfect. If it doesn't, you will learn from it and then grow operations department. The next department is what I call the communication department. This is super key. This is also the engine room. Actually, this is what I call the engine room of who you will become. Because if you are able to do all of these things and then you are not able to communicate the value of the things that you are doing in your brand, finance, and operations, it is just worthless. I'm going to tell you a story. When I completed my master's, I had my first job with this travel and expense company, super scaling company. So I was really excited to get started. Now, when I started, I was doing well, creating different stuff. But my problem was that I could not communicate what I was creating. On paper, what I'm doing makes a lot of sense. If you see the product that I create, it can change a lot of things, but I was not able to communicate it for it to land in the ears it needs to land into. And so every time I do create, people know that some exist, but yeah, of course, my value was just not seen because I couldn't communicate my value. The communication department is the most important department in your whole business, which is you. How you're able to communicate your value. If you go for interviews, how well are you able to express yourself? How well are you able to pitch who you are? How well are you able to pitch the things that you can do? If you have a strong CV, but then communicating what is in your CV is a problem, recruiters are always going to think that you are lying. Meanwhile, you might not be lying. So it is important to really put a lot of focus on your communication and learn how to communicate your value. If this department is strong, when you build a business, you'll be able to sell it well. When you get into the corporate world, you'll be able to grow because then you're able to communicate and then, eat on the table and not just pick the crumbs that falls off. The next department is what I call R&D department. And just by the name, it means research and development. For a lot of us, we finish our bachelor's, we probably get our first job and we don't do anything about it. If you do that, your business, the business of you, is never going to grow because the world is changing. A lot of things are coming, right? So it is important to always put some effort and some energy in researching and developing your skill, in researching and developing the value that you bring to your team or to the business that you are running. If you look at the world right now, things are changing with just a blink of an eye. The moment you close your eye and you open, something new is there. And so if you want to really stay relevant, you have to put some energy on your R&D department to learn, to improve, to become better than yesterday, always. So that you don't become, a little bit conscious that somebody is going to take your job. As long as you stay relevant in the game, you will grow. Put some energy, put part of your finance energy into research and development, study to show yourself approved. Okay, now the last department is what I call the leadership department. The leadership department. Basically, what this means is how you lead your life. For some of us, we've decided to hand over our entire life to some people who don't even know how to manage their own life, our friends. And then when they say, okay, let's do this, we just follow people anyhow. Put the leadership of your own life in your hands. Lead your own life the way you want it to go. If you feel that something is not going to benefit a goal that you are trying to achieve, stay away from it. Sometimes some invitations that come into your life are just distractions. You don't have to let it sway you away from what you're trying to do or the goal you're trying to achieve. Lead your own life. Choose your directions intentionally. Be very intentional about the life that you're building, right? And then protect your time and your energy. Make sure that it is going into your communications. Make sure that it is going into your operations, your R&D, your brand. That is where the focus is. That is where thriving is. That is where success is. That is where you'll be able to achieve the purpose, the main reason why you are on this earth. Please focus on leading your own life. Now, let me tell you something. If you actually want to change your life, if you want to be successful, you have to stop leading your life by your emotions and actually start treating it like a business, because it is a business. You are a business. You are a high performing business. Treat yourself as one. Strengthen your departments, improve your systems, invest in your growth, okay? Because this is what will change the life for you. If you don't want to just watch other people succeed, if you actually want to be part of those that eat the bread, this is what you need to do. Treating your life like the high performing business it is. Because the business of you is the most important business you'll ever run in your life. Now, I've turned this into an amazing framework. Click on the link below to download it and then get to learn more about the business of you. See you next week.